The transfer window is coming to an end, but that doesn't stop Arsenal being linked to some crazy players. We got a few links in here today that we're going to speak about. A couple of them I can actually see some validity in, but there's one in particular that I just think is crazy, and I want to get your guys' opinions on it. Before we get into it though, just very quickly, do me a favor, hit like on this video. So the first guy is Darwin Nunez, and I hate to break it to you for the people that I've seen online getting excited about the possibility of Darwin Nunez coming to Arsenal. It's not going to happen. This player is not coming to Arsenal. There's so many reasons as to why this deal wouldn't happen. Like, for one, I'm not seeing every main media outlet talking about it. I'm not seeing the main guys talking about it, whether it be Ornstein or a Romano. It come from a guy on Twitter, and now it just seems to be people picking it up and running from it. But I don't need some guy on Twitter to tell me that this deal is fake. I can break down to you why this deal is not going to happen. Like, Darwin Nunez is not what we need. In fact, he's the total opposite of what we need. Like, what does he offer? Like, we've got two players in Jesus and Havertz who are great players in their own rights, but what they are not is prolific. So if Arsenal were going to bring a striker in, they want someone who's going to hit goals. They know where the back of the net is. Darwin Nunez isn't that. In fact, like I said, he's the total opposite of that. Like, Jesus and Havertz are great players in their own rights. I've defended them so many times on this channel. They do so many great things that I appreciate. But they're not natural born goal scorers. They need 3 or 4 chances and they might score 1. Darwin Nunez needs 7 or 8 chances and he might score 1. And people might say to you, but he's quick. He's quick to miss. Like, I wouldn't pay £10 and a bag of Watsits for this player. Like, I don't think he's the type of profile of player that Arsenal should be looking at. And luckily, like I said, I don't think there's much substance behind these stories. It would not make any sense to me at all. If this deal happens, I would be amazed. Let me know your thoughts on it. What's your thoughts on the fact that Darwin Nunez is even being linked to Arsenal? Do you, like me, think these links are not legit? Like, there's not much substance behind these stories, like I said? Or do you think there's actually a possibility that Darwin Nunez can join Arsenal this summer? Let me know. So the next one, we're going to get into a couple of players that I'm seeing linked that actually seem more valid. Like Simon Adringa from Brighton. Good young player, out wide, can probably play anywhere across the front line. And this is the kind of player that I look at and I think, do you know what? You could do a job. Is it the most glamorous signing in the world? No. I mean, Arsenal ideally would go out there and spend 100 million or 120 million and go and get the guy that the Arsenal fans want so much. But that's a bit, like, unrealistic, isn't it? That's not going to happen. You can't always get exactly what you want when you want it. And Simon Adringa, I think, can be a bit of a compromise. He's probably going to be a lot of money, though. So it depends how much Arsenal want to spend. Because Brighton are a hard team to buy off of. We've seen firsthand, or we've seen teams in the Premier League that go and buy from Brighton, and they are so firm on their valuations, and they're very difficult to budge. The Leandro Trossard situation for Arsenal was obviously very different for many different reasons, and we actually got a good deal. But if you're wanting to buy a player that they don't want to sell, then you will pay a premium. We've seen Chelsea do it. We've seen other teams do it as well. Adringa would be good. I think he does have attributes that could complement this team. Like I said, it depends. 50 million? Would that be too much to play for Adringa? Is he proven enough to command that type of fee? I don't know. But if someone said you could have him for 40 million, I would probably say yes. But if I had to guess, Brighton would look at it and say, well, Chelsea just paid 60 million on Pedro Neto. So if you want this player, you're going to have to pay 60 million. Would I do this deal for 60 million? No, probably not. Let me know your thoughts on it. Do you think this guy could be good for Arsenal? Do you think this is a deal that could actually happen? Like I said, let me know. The next one is it's definitely a rumour, and it's not a new one, by the way. Like, how many times have we spoke about Raphinha on this channel? Some rumours in the background I'm hearing that maybe an opportunity deal could become available for Arsenal to maybe look, because Barcelona will be looking to offload players. And it just depends what player they want to offload. Like, it's looking like they might need to sell one if they want to bring another one in. So if they do that, Raphinha could be one of those guys. It's a player I look at and say, I'm not mega excited just looking at his name, but it's definitely a deal I can get myself excited for if I start to see more legs in it, because Raphinha is a good player. He could play on the right-hand side. It would be perfect as backup for Saka. Would he feel comfortable playing backup to Saka? Well, he's been a backup at Barcelona. Like, he doesn't play every single game. So I don't get why him coming to Arsenal, he would expect to start straight over Bukayo Saka. It wouldn't happen. So if he does, or if he looks at an opportunity to join Arsenal, I'm sure he's thinking he's not going to start every game. Plenty of minutes to go round, so he will get some minutes. So this is a deal that I'm not against. I'm not totally for, but I wouldn't mind it. I could get myself excited for a deal for Raphinha if this starts to come more feasible, or if the link's out there and people saying, oh, look, Arsenal are looking to go and get Raphinha now, I would start to get excited about Raphinha. The next one, I probably wouldn't. Raheem Sterling. We're seeing channels now put out rumours of Arsenal, Raheem Sterling to Arsenal. What's your guys' thoughts on this? The thing, I couldn't see Arsenal doing a permanent deal for him. Neither would I want to. Like, I would probably only loan him for a season or two. Like, his wages are so big. He's on like 300-400 grand a week. So I wouldn't want to swallow that if I was Arsenal. If it was going to be on a permanent deal, the only way I would do it is if maybe it was you get Sterling or you don't get anyone. I know some of you guys in the comment section have said I'd rather not get anyone. Maybe I would take him on loan. Like I said, I wouldn't want a permanent deal for this player. Would I take him on loan for a season? If that's the only option we have available, then I would probably say yeah. Since we done the video yesterday, we've obviously had the news that Mikel Merino confirmed to Arsenal 100%. They put out that video of Mikel Arteta introducing him to the team in like that group environment. And I like those videos that Arsenal put out now. They're like, it's real, isn't it? Like, it's the real environment. Like, Arteta's introducing him, not necessarily to the players, but it's like where they're all together. He gets to say a few words. And I like the video. Merino's going to be brilliant for Arsenal. Like, he brings so many qualities that this midfield maybe has been lacking. Like, where will he play? He's probably going to play 8. Does that mean Declan Rice is going to play 6 predominantly? Yes. I've seen a bit of, not hate towards Declan Rice, but a bit of a misconception about that last game, because Declan Rice was, you know, it was quiet in that game. A lot of people saying because he was quiet against Aston Villa, they don't believe he can play that 8 role. All I would say is, remember, players are asked to do different roles in different games to achieve different outcomes. Like, it seemed to me like Declan Rice was playing he was quite high in that Aston Villa game. Something like, maybe that's just to try and like occupy Onana, to try and keep him pinned back, to try and keep him out of the midfield as much as he can, just so he doesn't like dominate that midfield. He's got more legs than Partey. He's bigger than Partey. He might be stronger than Partey. Keep him down his side of the pitch as much as you can. Was Declan Rice tasked with that job? And because he kind of had a little side mission, maybe that affected his in-game play. Maybe that forced him to be slightly more quiet in that game. I don't know. That's just something that I kind of saw from that game. Mikel Merino, it's a really interesting deal. It adds bite to that midfield. It adds aerial ability. We've spoken about how he was number 1 in the top 5 leagues for aerial abilities and ground duels won. I think you're going to see a real bite in this Arsenal midfield. It's going to be really hard for teams to dominate. You know, was there games last season where some people were saying maybe Arsenal lost that midfield battle? I don't think you're going to see that much now. Now, it can happen, of course, because there will be games or situations where the Arsenal midfield get overrun. But adding a player like this, a big guy, a physical guy, Declan Rice over 6 foot. You got Mikel Merino over 6 foot. You got Odegaard in there buzzing around as well. It's just a solid midfield. Thomas Partey is kind of drawing confusion from that last game. Some people saying he had a really good game. Some people saying he was rubbish. I'm kind of in between. I still think Mikel Merino is kind of viewed as a player that can maybe play that number 6 role if he needs to. He's certainly not his most comfortable position, but I think Mikel Arteta sees those duels won and says, if I need him to do a job in that number 6 role, he can. We've obviously got Jorginho in there as well. So it's just another option in this Arsenal midfield, and I think he's obviously not going to start the next game. I would love to see him come on as a substitute this weekend against Brighton. That would be brilliant. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on it. Do you think we'll see Mikel Merino this weekend? Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, like I said, just do me a favour. Hit like on this video. Just like it and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.